Hello, everybody. Welcome back to After Curfew. I'm Jillian Lena. Today, we're talking about self-love. Before we get into it, I just want to say self-love is a journey. It's not a destination. And I know that sounds like a cheesy live, laugh, love sign, but it's true. You're never going to wake up and be like, okay, I'm healed and I feel great and I love myself. There's going to be days where you feel like shit and there's going to be days where you feel absolutely amazing. We all deserve to experience the same love that we give out to other people. So a romantic partner, a best friend, if you would not say or think it about somebody that you absolutely love, do not do it about yourself. Give yourself that compassion. Give yourself that love because you deserve it. So with that being said, let's get into the questions. First question is how to stop comparing yourself to other girls. I hate that social media does this to us. We see a picture, it ruins our whole day. We see something, we start comparing ourselves. We look at this girl's body, we're like, ugh, why do I look this way? Listen, as women, we are so freaking hard on ourselves. We compare constantly, and social media does not help us. So the number one thing I think you should do if you compare yourself so much, unfollow anything that makes you feel unworthy. It took me a really long time to stop comparing myself. And I personally, I don't follow pages that make me feel less than. I feel like I've worked really hard to not compare myself, but that is like the number one step. If you open your phone and you see something and it makes you feel like shit, why is it on your phone? Delete it, unfollow it, remove it. It does not need to live there. Social media is a tailored, face-tuned version of everybody's life, okay? It's a highlight reel. You're looking at the tip of the iceberg. You are not seeing the insecurities, the self-doubt, the crap that they're dealing with on their day-to-day. Also, when you look at like celebrities or models or whatever it may be, you can't compare somebody's end to your beginning. You can't compare somebody's chapter 20 to your chapter 1. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is yourself. I feel like we all struggle with this pressure of having to have it figured out. If you did not figure it out in your 20s, if you did not excel in your career in your 20s, you have your 30s. If you didn't figure it out in your 30s, you could figure it out in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s. There is no age limit for success and having it sorted. Whatever is meant for you is going to come when you are ready, because I don't think I would have been, if I got this opportunity of having a podcast several years ago, I don't think I would have been there because I didn't love myself enough. I didn't trust myself enough that I could do it. So there might just be things that you still need to work on, and the universe is like, baby girl, you're still baking, you need a few years, and then your time will shine. Like sometimes we see all these people and we see them doing all these amazing things and we think that, oh my God, this will never happen for me. It just might not be your time yet. One thing I always like to tell myself is Vera Wang, she made her first dress at 40. There's no age limit on success. You can have success at any point of your life. So do not look at other people and compare yourself like, oh, they're doing all this. You have time. So allow yourself to breathe and figure out what you really want to do, and your time will come when you're ready. There's so much going on in your 20s. You are learning so much about yourself, so much about the friendships that you want to keep, the friendships that you want to let go of, the relationships and partnerships that you want to have. You're learning a lot. You should be failing and getting up and failing and getting up and doing it over and over again until you feel like you could fucking breathe. This is your time to make mistakes, to restart the careers, to date all the fucking douchebags and have all those awful relationships to teach you how to be ready for a right one. And then with friendships, you're figuring out so much as well. You're figuring out what friends you want to keep along with you as your life friends, what friends you want to let go. There's just like so much organizing in life. Like that's the thing. Like how could you really be excelling when you're being thrown? This is your first time through life, like your first like taste of adult life, and you think that you should have it figured out? I'm sorry? And I know there are some people that really do have it figured out in their 20s, but that is the exception. That is not the norm. Know that the mistakes that you're making are going to lead you on the right path. They led me on the right path. Every single person that I've ever talked to that's in their late 20s or going into their 30s, they're like, damn, yes, that was amazing. I made so many mistakes. I learned my lessons. I gathered all my information and I am doing well. Okay, so one thing that I like to do is have a conversation with my younger self. So I will pick a time in the past and I will tell that version of myself everything that I have going on. We always are so focused on the now and we don't really look at how much we've actually done and the growth that we've actually made. I will sit down, let's just say 22-year-old Jillian, and I will tell her from the biggest things to the smallest things of what I've been up to. There's so many times where I just feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'll start to get those little comparisons. And every time I do that, I will go back and I will even look at photos. I will see exactly where I was in that time. And I will be like, Jillian, You were in that relationship, you got out of that relationship, and look at how amazing your life is. You moved to LA, you did this, you did that. And once you really start to see, oh my God, I've done all these things, we laser in on the now and we forget all those amazing things that we have done along the way. So when you start to compare, when you start to feel like shit and you feel down and you're not doing enough, have a conversation with your younger self and bring yourself back to now, you will feel so much better. Trust me, try it. It works. Just try it. And if you're feeling bad right now, pause this video, try it, and come back and tell me in the comments, because I promise you it will make you feel so much better. Ooh, okay, the next question is, what advice do you have for dealing with negative self-talk? One thing that I did when I would have a lot of negative self-talk was pick a picture of yourself when you were a kid. Put it on your lock screen or put it in your bathroom mirror so you look at it every single morning when you brush your teeth. Take a minute and look at that photo and keep it anywhere in your house, and always remind yourself that when you are saying those awful things, you are saying it to her. When you're mean to yourself, you are mean to that child. Ooh, okay, how can you build and maintain confidence, especially when facing setbacks and failures? Whenever things go wrong in my life, I'm always like, this is a plot switch. There's something better for me. Before I moved out to LA, I was with a boyfriend. I was living with him. I probably would have stayed in Chicago for however longer, wasting my time in a relationship that was not for me. You have to look at your setbacks as gains. Those moments when you feel off track, you are just going onto a different, more fulfilling course. If we had not broken up, I would have stayed in Chicago so much longer and wasted my time in a relationship that was just not meant for me. That breakup gave me the courage and energy to move out to LA. Sometimes we need those pushes and those moments where we feel like our life is fucking crumbling. I guarantee you it's not. It's just putting you on a different, more fulfilling course. What are some practical habits, daily habits to cultivating self-love? One thing about self-love is you have to do whatever fulfills you and makes you happy. Like if you want to go eat junk food, be in your Adam Sandler clothes and rot in your bed for 2 days, do it. Like me, I know I am not an aesthetic girly. I will get into bed, pour myself a glass of wine, and I will be like Charlie's grandparents from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and just bed rot. Social media and all the information that's out there about like your self-love journey is so toxic in a way, because it's not one size fits all. It's not a copy paste. What I mean is like, I just feel like sometimes social media glamorizes it with the self-care books and the vloggers that like set up their tripod, press play, get back into bed and be like, every morning I wake up at 6 a.m. and I have a matcha and 5 blueberries and I shove a crystal up my ass. It's like, okay, that's self-love to them. And who even knows if it is, because that sounds like a lot of fucking work. But whatever it is to you, indulge and do what makes you feel best. What are some signs I need to work on self-love? One of the biggest signs that you need to work on your self-love is looking at how you speak to yourself. How do you speak to yourself, and how do you speak to yourself to others? I understand as women, our bodies fluctuate and we have moments, okay? Some moments I feel like I'm the baddest bitch alive. And then there's some days where I'm like, my hair is not hairing, my makeup is not makeuping, and I look like crap. But I will never, ever, ever talk badly about myself. Even on those days where I'm not feeling 100%, I am not going to say anything about myself, because the words that you use do have power. When you really do start shifting the way that you talk about yourself, you are going to feel so much better. Like growing up, I was not good at school, okay? I was awful at math. It was so hard for me to pay attention. I had severe ADD. Like I could not fucking focus. So when someone would make a joke about me in math class or not understanding things, I would always join in. But then once I started to get older, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to say these things about myself. I'm not stupid. I just don't give a fuck about the square root of XYZ, okay? We have calculators. I don't need that. Just really be mindful of the words that you use and the words that you allow other people to use. I let people talk bad about me until one day I was like, no, I'm done with this. I'm not doing that. So if you feel like your self-love might need some work, start with the words, because the words are so powerful. Start with the words that you use about yourself. Also, I think it's so important to choose yourself. If you're in a situation or relationship and you don't feel like your needs are met, walk away from it. Knowing that it's okay to walk away from things that just don't align with you is the best way that you can show yourself self-love. Because if something does not feel right and you're sticking in it, you're doing such a disservice to yourself, because nobody is going to choose you if you do not choose yourself. Next is looking at your friendships and your partnerships. I once heard that your partner is a representation of how much you love yourself. And let me tell you, bitch, that rocked me, because that is so true. I've been in so many relationships where I was like, yeah, I did not love myself, because the Jillian that I am now would never, ever, ever put up for that. So really look at your friendships and really look at your relationships as well, because that will be very, very telling to how and where you are in your self-love journey. Ooh, okay. How to not feel so lost. If you're lost, but you're still going towards the things that you like to do, you will definitely be found. I feel like that was very poetic and beautiful. JK, you need to find the things that spark joy. You need to find the things that make you happy and start moving towards those. People feel lost when they're in dead-end jobs, when they don't have a good partner, when their friends suck. That's when you feel lost. When you start making yourself a priority and putting yourself first, more things will come in for you, and I guarantee you, you will not feel so what the fuck. I don't really even have that much more to say about that one, but just move towards the things that make you happy, whatever that is. And I know that's really broad, but truly look at your life, look at the things that aren't working, make a list. I'm all about lists. I love to write shit down. I'm the type of person, okay, when I am making a to-do list, even if I already did it, I have to write it down still just so I can cross it off. It just like does the soul well. Make a list of all the things in your life that are serving you, the positive. Then make a list of all the things that are negative, the things that you can do without. Start to figure out the plans, pinpoint, and be calculated about the things that you want and how you're going to get them. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, how to not care what people think of you. I think the biggest thing, and it's hard because you could be like, don't care. And it's like, okay, well, that didn't help. But nobody gives a fuck. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but no one cares what you're actually up to. I used to be so crazy when it came to Instagram where I would be like staring at a photo until my eye looked like it was like 3 times the size and my lips were all the way over here and I looked like a fucking Picasso. And I'm like, great, I can't even post it now. Nobody is sitting there and critiquing you the way that you are critiquing yourself. So first, know that it is not that deep. In our lives, we're the main character, obviously, as we should be. And we all think that we are the main character in everybody else's life. And it's just so not true. Everybody has their own lives, their own shit, their own stuff that they have to tend to every single day. Like, I cannot remember what somebody's Instagram story was from a week ago. And I'm sure you can't either. So when you're thinking about posting something or putting yourself out there, making a video of something that you like, just fucking do it, because the people that are going to have an issue with it are the haters, and haters are always going to hate, okay? But those types of people are just so unhappy with themselves. It doesn't matter what anybody says. All those trolls and the people that have issues with you, it's because they're secretly so unhappy with themselves. Also, do not take criticism from anyone that you would never trade spaces or places with, okay? When people are mean and nasty and they have nothing nice to say, they are projecting their own insecurities. You have zero control of what anybody does. So anyone's perception of you can't help. So if someone's going to judge you, that is on them. You might be triggering something in them, or they might see something in you that they're jealous of, whatever. You can't control that. So you could be doing the most or doing nothing at all, and somebody is still going to judge you. So why not do exactly what you want? Thing is also those fears and insecurities that you have that you think that other people might have about you are actually the way that you feel about yourself. And that took me a long time to really realize. Not everybody is thinking the way that you actually think they are. So whenever you feel like you don't want to post this video because you're scared what people will think, or you can't post this photo because you don't think you look pretty, you are making shit up in your head. This is when being Delulu is not the Salulu, okay? You need to stop thinking these negative things about yourself because nothing happened. It's not reality. And trust me, I understand, because I am somebody that beats the shit out of myself. I will look at something and I will hate it and then I won't post it. Like, I struggle with perfectionism. To the point where it was fucking crippling with perfectionism. Like, if you're struggling with perfectionism, somebody told me once that it's narcissistic of you to think you know what perfect is. Like you think that you're God and you decide what's good and what's not. Let people judge. So if you are second guessing posting a video or your first podcast or a photo that you really love, this could be the one video that makes you go viral. This could be the one thing that really pops you off. But you're not posting it because of those insecurities and thoughts that you have about yourself. Those are not outside thoughts. Those are inner dialogue. And once you really start to realize that, you're like, no, this is not reality. So who are you to decide what perfect is? So every single time you start to feel those self-doubts, be like, who am I to judge this? Next question is how to love my body more. In college, I took a meditation class. It was like a meditation / self-love class. And our teacher told us to go home, sit in front of a mirror for like 5 to 10 minutes and really look at yourself in the eyes. You are always checking in with your friends and your families and the ones that you love, but are you checking in with yourself? You need to have those check-ins with your body, because listen, your body does amazing things, and to hate it is so cruel and unnecessary because all those beauty standards and the things that we deem as perfect are taught to us, okay? So when I did it and I looked at myself, I was like, yeah, I'm so mean to this vessel, this shell. For what? This is such an amazing thing in front of me. Why am I being mean to it? And as I was sitting there, I was like, these legs that I'm so insecure about are amazing. They walk, they run, they dance, they do all these things. And yet I am so mean to this body. So do not be mean to yourself. I think that's the biggest thing with self-love. Have the same compassion that you have for the people that you love. Like I said earlier, have it for yourself because you deserve that compassion. Like the way that you hype up the girls in a club bathroom after a few tequila sodas, you're like, yes, bitch, you look amazing. That is the way that you need to be talking about yourself. You need to have that same energy and passion, more energy, more passion. You need to have that for yourself. Next question is, do insecurities go away as an adult? I think they lessen. There's things that I am still insecure about that I've been insecure about since a very young age. We all have baggage, we all have trauma, and we carry it. And we just figure out better tools to address them when they come up. Like I know there's certain triggers that I have, but I also know how to tame them when they come up. So I think, yes, they do get better because you just have more compassion and love for yourself, but also you just have the knowledge of how to really fix them once they do start to boil up. The last question that we're going to do is, what is the best advice for your self-love journey? My best advice is to take your time and say yes to everything. Move to the city, take the job, put yourself out there. I think a lot of times we are so scared of making the wrong choice that we don't make any choice at all. We always feel like we are running out of time, and you waste so much time in not making a decision. Being stagnant is the worst thing that you can do for yourself. So if you want something, go after it, because there is nothing worse than the shoulda, woulda, couldas. And I am not trying to sound like Mel Robinson right now and give this grand speech, but we have only so much time on this earth. Like life is long, but it also goes so quickly. Do everything that makes you happy. Take the risk and put yourself out there. Like going back to the fear of what people think. Do not let anybody else's thoughts dictate what you do with your life. Put yourself out there, do what makes you happy, and go get whatever it is that you want to do. Because you deserve to live out your potential. If you have a passion and you have something that you want to do, don't let anybody else's opinions dictate what you want. I used to live my life in such fear of what people would think or what people would say. And I realized those are my own insecurities. I was holding myself back. Nobody gives a fuck what you do. And if they do, they're so unhappy with themselves, like we talked about. So do whatever makes you happy and go after whatever it is that you want, because you deserve to have absolutely every single thing that you want in life. Listen, at the end of the day, your goal should be making your life as pleasant as possible. So whatever that looks like to you, go towards that. I really hope this episode brought some information and clarity to you. And if it did, please do comment. I really do want to hear from you guys and hear how your self-love journey is going, because for me, it was a process and it still is a process, and it really does take time. So if you have different tools and tips that really help you, drop them below. If you like this episode, please do follow us on all of our social media at After Curfew and tune into the podcast anywhere you listen. I'm Jillian Lena, and I will see you next week.